Now, as a kid during the great decade known as the 90s, what did we all do on Saturday mornings? We got up, we ate breakfast, we washed up, then we went in our rooms or we went downstairs to go watch cartoons. And if you were up early enough, then you made sure you caught Goosebumps. Man, I never get tired of that. Now, if you were into the books, then you more than likely watched the TV show and read the R.L. Stine series of books that he had coming out throughout the mid-90s. As a matter of fact, I probably have a book somewhere around here, but it's consumed by video games and movies and shit. Fucking books. But anyway, this show is like another Are You Afraid of the Dark, right? Nah, Goosebumps had its own style and charisma about it that you can respect. But just like Are You Afraid of the Dark, it started in Canada and then it aired in the United States later on. Now, the show started as a Saturday morning show after Fox Kids wanted to air it. And if I can remember right, it used to come on either at 8 o'clock or 8:30 in the morning. This show ran from the end of October 95 to 1998 on like November 16th, which is my birthday. This show wasn't your typical generic 90s teenagers sitting around a campfire and telling stories to make you scared for the rest of your whole Saturday. It was all stories taken straight from the book to the TV show. And it wasn't a show that really tried to force you to be scared at times, but it did catch your attention a lot more than Are You Afraid of the Dark. The stories were more on the lines that make you believe that it could actually happen to you. And what I always liked about these stories that the assholes on here that were acting like assholes always got what they deserved each time you watched it. These episodes were a whole lot more creepier than any kids' anthology shows too, because of the music and other things that happened to them. Now, this show wasn't giving you the shits about the boogeyman or the toe biter or some shit like that. Every episode was more on the lines of teaching kids a lesson. Every episode, the moral of the story was always don't do this or this happened, or don't do that or that'll happen. Just like the episode about calling all the creeps. This nerd named Ricky was pissed because the editor of the school newspaper, Tasha, won't let him write any stories for the paper. And she's known for calling him the famous phrase, Ricky the Rat. Now, I know what you all are thinking. What a corny ass joke. But this phrase was famous in this show. And hell, when I was in school at this time, I remember kids calling each other rat by using their first name followed by the phrase, the rat. And it's the mid-90s, so you also gotta take that into accord. But anyway, Ricky wants to take revenge on Tasha, so he creates a bulletin in the newspaper and puts Tasha's phone number in the bulletin saying she wants the calling of all creeps. So just like any nerd trying to come up with a scheme, he gets caught and his plan fails like his high school popularity life. So the next day he gets at school and he gets picked on by his ass-butt classmates. And some fat guy named Wart blows his immaculate hot breath in his face. Okay, now that's funny. Okay, so I see he continues to get bullied, and what the fuck? Okay, I know y'all didn't hear that well, but what kid in your school did you know used to go around eating onions like apples? And not only that, shouldn't the kids be picking on him for how bad his breath smells and not Ricky? And not only that, you have to be extremely lame to be hanging around a kid that goes around eating onions like apples. So they continue to pick on him and they make him sing Mary Had a Little Lamb. Then eventually all of the kids come and join the chaos. Oh yes, let's pick on the nerd whose penis will never grow into adult size. Then he meets a girl named Iris who just moved into town and he becomes friends with her. And then eventually Tasha finds out about his plan and then she uses his number now and now all of the creeps are calling him. So later the ass fucks that were picking on him are really some weird alien head looking fucks that think he's the leader of all creeps. And they think he's trying to devise some kind of plan to plant seeds in the school tuna lunch surprise that's going to eventually turn everybody into creeps. So eventually they had the idea of planting the seeds in the cookies during the next day's bake sale. Then when Ricky tries to stop them, the kids get ready to start picking on him and they say my famous phrase.
Wait, listen to me. You don't understand. Don't let these stupid kids get to you. Once they eat the cookies, you'll be their ruler.
But after being the nerd that he was destined to be, he continues to let them pick on him and then he eventually lets them eat the cookies. Then he eats one himself. Now the moral of this story, kids, is to be a nerd. Because when you become a nerd, you could be the leader of all creeps, or you could be one of the funniest people on YouTube.
This game is fucking horrible! Piece of dog shit. This game is diarrhea coming out of my dick. This game is as appealing as a fucking infested, dirty fucking sewer rat shit. I had more fun playing with dogs first. Shatters my ass and splinters my balls. This game is an inside-out asshole, regurgitating putrid, anal fecal matter. I'd rather fucking yank the hairs out of my scrotum. I'd rather drink diarrhea vomited out of a buffalo's anus. Sucking fucks and fucking sucks and fucking blows. It's a piece of shit.
So I encourage it.